influence on your
YouTube is the biggest influence, I think. For me, it was a guy called Durian Ryder, and I met him in Adelaide once, and he's a vegan guy, and he was just promoting it. He was massively into cycling at the time. He still is, and I was at the time.
Yeah.
So I was just following him on YouTube, and he's like, "If you're not vegan, why not?" And I was like, "Oh, that's a bit of a bold statement. What does that mean?" You know. And I started looking into it. So I did have a bit of a push from that.
That's so interesting because I started getting, obviously when you sort of mentioned you're vegan, I was like, and I started, you know, obviously once you've made a bit of a lifestyle choice, you kind of start consuming content and stuff which is related to what you're interested in.
That's it.
And one of my favourite podcasts is a guy called Rich Roll, who is a vegan ultra endurance runner, used to be a entertainment lawyer, and is sober as well. Like is in the secret society.
He's a friend of mine.
He's a cool dude. Lives in California. I'm a bit of a mega fan.
There's some envy there. I'm sensing.
Well, he's kind of my false idol probably.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a bit of an issue. Anyway,
there's a fellowship, and probably one in California that you get. He might even go. Maybe he started it up in California, especially for you when you go out there and visit him. I'm not your higher power, but there's the fellowship for you. Sorry.
Can you be my sponsor? Be my sponsor, I love you. But yeah, similar thing. Yeah, follow an athlete.
Yeah, so I think that, I know everyone bangs on, oh, he's on the internet on your phone, but actually I think YouTube's been such a massive wake-up call for so many people. I really, really do. Not just veganism, or any kind of thing that's useful or beneficial for everyone, you know, good for everyone, you know. I think it's helping people see just beyond the veil of what the mainstream media likes to portray as the truth. Yeah. I think if you do enough of your kind of research and look around enough, you know, it does open your mind to other ideas behind why things happen and what's going on. But you suggested I watched What the Health. And Cowspiracy. Which goes against everything we taught as kids, right? It's like milk's good for your bones, or dairy's good for your bones, and meat makes you strong, and and like eggs are like just tasty. I don't know, like good source of fat, protein, whatever. But actually, like, and that was the other thing. He told me about Cowspiracy, so I was like, oh, I'll check out Cowspiracy, not expecting much. I was blown away. That guy that did Cowspiracy, I can't remember his name now, but he absolutely nailed it. And how much of it's absolute truth? Not sure. Does it matter? Probably not. It was enough to make me go, right, okay, this is actually a bit of a big deal, and I need to go back from being vegetarian straight pescatarian, which is what I was at the time, and give the vegan thing a proper go, the plant-based thing a proper go. And it's a few years ago now. It was back in 2014, I think. 2015, somewhere around there.
And now, of course, it's kind of cool, isn't it? It's like in London's got, I think you said, like the most vegan restaurants within the shortest proximity.
Any metropolitan area, I think. The most amount of vegan places.
Yeah, but actually underneath that all, and this is partly like Rich Roll and his podcast and some of the guests he gets on. He gets doctors on there, and it's actually the health thing is so, there's so many studies now saying that it's not only preventative but can sometimes reverse certain diseases.
Diabetes.
And I was listening to one today where it's actually more kind of like for women, if they have endometriosis, like it can like reverse that apparently. Obviously it's good just kind of, well, red meat is a carcinogen, or certainly like processed meats are carcinogens, so you want to keep away from that. But I mean, it is one of those debates which like you have like tribes of people like getting at each other about diet, and it's not really what it's about. I mean, the vegan thing, I think, is more about like, it's not only health, but it's also environment and obviously animals. But if we look after ourselves, it's like, I mean, means that we're more happy and we're more likely to contribute to the world at large anyway.
Yeah, you take care of yourself, you generally take better care of those around you, and I think so. Yeah, it's
like a form. I think I saw it as a form of self-love when I changed it up, and I did feel like it was a bit like I was having a detox. But I felt like I was coming out in blotchy skin.
It is a detox because there's a lot of stuff that's in obviously animal products that. Like for example, casein morphine, which is in dairy, which is why I used to stand at the fridge and just chug down milk, like literally chug down litres of milk, and Mum would be like, "You all right, mate?" And because of this thing called casein morphine, which is what I think that was in What the Health, wasn't it? Which is another doco, whatever, about veganism and why it's good. I was like, "Oh, right, okay, yeah." And it took me like 3 weeks to sort of like purge that out. I had a few weeks. I was like, I need cheese.
Yeah.
And when that left, it was
I
like...
still occasionally get that.
But as I said, I think the phone fell off the thing. Well, I have to have a little disclaimer here, because there might be people watching going, he's a fraud! I did have some dairy at Christmas. And stuff like that at my girlfriend's house, at her parents' house, and I think at my mum and dad's house as well. But I sort of tasted it. It was like, it's all right. I'm not really that bothered with it. Doesn't it? It's a bit sickly actually. Some of it was quite nice. But I think nowadays with all the plant-based stuff that's coming out, companies are just getting on the bandwagon because they know that more people are shifting and they want to make money on it. Ultimately, it comes back to money again.
Yeah, always.
So there's more products out there, and we were talking about vegan stuff at mainstream places like Subway and Greggs, and McDonald's have even brought stuff out now. It's just like literally everywhere you go, it's just veganism. Like even to the point where it was like, I bought a box of PG Tips, and it said on the bottom, great tasting with plant-based milk. I'm just like, and I'm plant-based. I'm just like, guys, this is getting like indoctrination. Is there another sort of agenda behind this?
It's the same way as like how a lot of stuff was like extra protein, like on packaging and stuff. It'd be like because it was all about protein.
Yeah, the protein.
Like if you want to live like a fit and healthy lifestyle, you need to have X amount of protein in your diet. Therefore, anything like even like little cereal bars, like. And I would look at those. Yeah. Like, has that got enough protein in it? Am I getting? Yeah. I'll buy that.
I think it depends. If you're building muscle, you know probably a bit more than me. Like, but you do need more protein, don't you? You do need more protein. I think any vegan or non-vegan will tell you that. Like, you do need protein to build muscle. But I don't think you need the amounts that we're told that we need to have these hundreds of grams of like protein every day. We just don't need it, and like.
It depends what you're like. I mean, if you are a bodybuilder, then you're going to need to eat a lot of. And there are vegan bodybuilders.
There is. There's a guy
like bowls and bowls of lentils.
Yeah, he literally has lentils for breakfast. He has other stuff. There is other stuff you can eat as a vegan, not just lentils and grass.
Chickpeas.
That is actually it, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we're not selling it. No, but he's the strongest guy in Europe, isn't he? And he's called Vegan Badass or something. I can't remember. It's not what his mum called him. No. But that's what he's known as, and he's massive. Yeah, he's completely plant-based. But
I think it's like I think with anything, I think what kind of frustrates me is like, okay, vegan is become cool, but it's like, but why have you gone vegan?
Yeah.
Rather than jumping on a trend, it's like it is this like never-ending. Like you can go so deep on it.
Yeah.
Like you could go as deep as like getting interested in like certain types of sustainable farming and the planet and the environment and the oceans and the whole thing. And there are people that are getting more interested in that, aren't they?
You've got to have a good motivation for it, otherwise you're probably not going to keep it up, are you? It's like, and I think now for me, it's probably more the animals actually. It's just come along and it's been like that, and I'm not perfect by any stretch. Laura, my girlfriend, would tell me that I was basically a fish murderer last year. I had a tank of fish with 13 at the beginning of the year, and they nearly all died.
Oh
so
my God.
I'm not a very good vegan at times, I'm not. I managed to salvage 2 of them. They're now in Lewis's tank. He's got a lovely tank. And he's taken them over.
You got to feed them.
Well, I did, but I don't think I cleaned them out enough. I was too busy. Yeah.
Self-centered.
I was too busy. I was so selfish and self-centered.
That reminds me, I need to get that plant watered.
Yeah. No, so I think it's a really good thing for everyone, mate, but I don't know about the global warming thing. I'm not sure how much of that I believe, I must admit. I feel like when you get, it starts to feel a bit agenda-y from the mainstream, it starts to make me ask a few questions like what's behind that, but I do think that being plant-based or vegan is better for us and the animals and probably the planet as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of loopholes as well. Like, obviously, veganism isn't perfect, and actually,
Of course,
I went to a talk recently which said like if everyone went vegan, then we wouldn't be able to like keep up.
Yeah.
Actually, but for me, it does go back to like, I think if you look after yourself and like, it's like an act of love. I think if you eat like just plants and fruits and nuts and preferably locally sourced, although it's not easiest in the supermarkets and stuff. Like, there's something about that which it's a feel good thing. It's like, yeah, I feel like I'm like looking after myself, and you cook like vegan food for people. You feel like you're helping them. It's like, this is a really healthy meal and it tastes nice. I mean, my parents still find it quite difficult to get their head around. It's like, I think
Mine too,
yeah, because they're used to feeding me lasagnas and sausage and mash and you know, don't get me wrong, like I think about that now, I was like, oh, that stuff was delicious. It was delicious, and I still smell meat now, and I think, oh, that you know, bit of saliva. It happens.
But I think if it's cooked right and it's flavoured right, it's not really the meat that you crave, it's actually the flavours of the plant-based sauces and condiments that we put in and amongst the meat.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like the meatball Mariana thing from Subway that's come out. In America, they've got the Beyond Meat version, which is probably even better. So it actually tastes like cow, like beef.
Yeah.
But the one here, it's actually like layered with this Mariana sauce, and it tastes absolutely delicious. And to me, I wouldn't know I'm not eating meat. I mean, I haven't eaten meat for a few years, so granted. And I think people are realising that now, that the vegan sausage roll from Greggs is actually, I think, more popular than the normal sausage roll now, because people actually don't need to. It tastes actually better. And I think But
that act of consumerism, I think, is a sign of, even if the people buying those sausage rolls don't necessarily really know why veganism is like a good thing.
People buy it because it's here on Facebook or YouTube or Instagram.
But it's still an act of like, I'm making a stand about not eating meat, which I think just that in itself is quite a nice, just a nice thing.
No, it does. And I did go, and I had a burger a few years ago. I was with a girl at the time, and she kind of like didn't like veganism at all. A bit like hardcore old school Italian girl. And I went back to eating meat for it. I had this burger, and I literally felt this. Something came into me after eating the burger. It was like this kind of like real energy rush of like arrogance, and just sort of like it's almost like a sort of I'm getting you scared. You're like, oh Christ! It's like like it came into it. It's really weird. I've never had it before because I haven't gone from that to that, and I've heard that if you eat the flesh of a dead animal, that you're potentially eating the energy of that fear and that, you know, whatever that was going through the animal's consciousness of whatever at the time of death. Apparently,
you almost
could have been that. I don't know.
Certainly are. It's really the same way as like if someone in the kitchen doesn't even have to be. Well, yeah, that's an obvious one. Like the meat, a lot of the meat we eat, unless it's like organic or from like a really nice butcher, it's going to have been slaughtered in a really nasty way, and that energy. Well,
they still go to slaughter, mate, whether they're organic or in a free range. They still end up getting their throats slit. So I mean, you know,
totally.
So it's sort of, but yeah.
But yeah, I'm on board with that. But it's also the same notion of like, you know, someone that prepares your food for you in a kitchen, if they're like stressed out and they're not really doing it with love, they're just like dishing it out. So true. You know, that energy that is going into that.
That's why I choose my Subways very carefully. So the one in New Cross, if you live in South London, there's a lovely lady in there that she makes them very nicely. And I swear they taste better.
Feels like home.
It's better. Like, if you go to the one in Greenwich, it doesn't taste as good. The energy of going into it. Sorry, Greenwich Subway people.
There's an amazing. There's an amazing vegan restaurant in Earlsfield, which I used to go to, which it was just so, like the guy there was so calm, like clearly like I don't know, meditates a lot, does a lot of yoga, and all the food was just like so nice. And I would go in there on my own.
I love eating on my own.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And he used to offer me like exercise, you know, without even having to pay for them. Like, he's just one of these like giving, nourishing people.
Yeah, I remember years ago I was into this thing called Brahma Kumaris. I think I've told you about it. And they had this spiritual retreat weekends down at their headquarters in Oxford, and I was a meat eater at the time. I had no interest in veganism, vegetarianism. It wasn't even on my agenda. It wasn't even on my sort of like radar. And they made this food, and they fully believed in if you make food with love, it tastes amazing. I'm like, yeah, all right, okay, give it a try. And honestly, God, and I'm like, and I remember saying to myself at the time, if I could have that food every day, the way that was cooked, I would be vegan on the spot. Vegan on the spot. I wasn't at the time, and I didn't go to veganism then, but like, it's so true. There's something in it. Yeah, there's something in that, isn't there? Yeah.
Nice.
Where's that restaurant in Ellsfield? Sounds good.
It is. You come out the station, turn right. Gosh, I want to give it a shout out.
Give it a shout out to. Is it probably on Happy Cow? Isn't it? That app?
It's on Happy Cow, yeah. But it's the only vegan restaurant in Ellsfield.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
No, it's good. I know you're into it as well now, to a point. You can get into it. Mostly vegan.
Yeah, mostly vegan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel better? It's a hard one to quantify, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's been a while, so to eat meat, but
I think you feel clearer. There's something about it. You feel slightly clearer and less sort of. I don't know. I don't know how to. It's a hard one to explain, but there is a difference.
Yeah.
There is a difference in how you feel. It's
I'm trying
sort
to
of
do
less
like.
dense. I don't know.
I think it's not just the food. I think it's like when you eat it as well. I'm trying intermittent fasting at the moment as well.
Yeah.
Which I quite like. Like I like to like go and exercise, like not having eaten, and then you know hold off a bit until maybe like midday or something. Unless I'm like I'm gonna bite my hand off. And yeah, just in terms of like energy and ability to focus, I think that helps. I think one thing that's not helping with that is caffeine. So my go-to thing in the morning is like I'll do my meditation, my program stuff, reading, prayer, then I have a cup of coffee, and then I'm just like feeling a bit anxious and a bit, it's a bit like
you're not hungry anymore either. Yeah. The funny thing is like there's another thing we're taught is that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I think that's bullshit. I don't think it is at all. I think skipping breakfast is a really good thing. Fasting in the morning, and then eating when you're hungry. You know, and I think so. Yeah, caffeine's a big one there. I mean, I gave up coffee. Lauren was a really good influence on that. She stopped coffee because I think just similar sort of reasons, like that spike of sort of that anxiety and
Does she have any
jitteriness.
Does she have any caffeine?
No. Oh, I think she has matcha.
Oh yeah.
But I'm still so I've gone from coffee to tea, so it's like half the content. So I still have tea and stuff, but I've definitely felt I don't think I'd go back to coffee. I wouldn't today. I wouldn't go back to it. I had to sell my coffee machine, £300 coffee machine, like beans cup coffee machine. But yeah, I did, and occasionally I crave a coffee on a Saturday or something, but have a tea and it passes.
Yeah, have a tea and it passes. It's like anything, you just go cold turkey on it, and it's like, okay, well that no longer serves me, and you stop. You just like, I had that with smoking. Like, I was still like dipping in and out with fags, and then one day I was just like, I'm gonna get rid of all my fags, and I'm just not. There's not gonna be a lighter. There's no trigger. There's no cue. And then like I didn't even think about fags. I don't know whether that was just like I'm really serious this time.
That's impressive. I was like a crackhead trying to get off there. I was a nightmare. Yeah.
Well, I know the minute I have one, but I end up buying a packet. I just know that's.
Yeah. That was a tough one to give out. That one.
It's so good. But it's not. It's gross, actually.
I find myself sort of like standing near to people just letting them have a cigarette. Do you do that?
I sometimes smell it and I'm like,
just sit there, that initial spark up, especially my old man who smokes B&H, that initial, you can imagine the throat hit he gets from the cigarette and all that good stuff. I'm funny one now. I don't really think about it at all. Trying to giving up originally was for a few days it was a beast, absolute beast. But glad I did it. So But
Right. Well, I think we've had a good chat.
One of many. Me and Christian have had over the. How many years have we known each other now? How long have you been?
2 and a bit.
Yeah.
Years. 2 and a bit.
We've had lots
but
of
you know
chats.
me more, probably better than.
Maybe anyone else.
Not anyone else, but you know me pretty well. You know my deepest, darkest secrets.
Yeah. I'm not allowed to tell anyone.
No, that'd be good.
No, it's been fun. Thanks for having me, mate. I enjoyed it. And maybe do it again sometime. As always. Those are